Hi guys, welcome back to episode 11 of Nemcast After Hours. You're joined by here Elliot, who you can't see because his camera's not working with technical issues. We've got our guest here tonight, Tom.
Hello everybody.
Tom was on last week, so we're going to have a little look about his experience as a newer player. And we've also got our special guest on today as well, Ross. Ross, who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Ross, I'm autistic, and I like Lego.
Brilliant. Thanks for joining, Ross. We'll see you next week. So, yeah, we brought you on. You mentioned that you're a newer player. It's your second Airsoft game at a battle sim. And we thought it'd be good to sort of touch on a newer player, a noob, as it were, to see what your experiences are like so far. So if we start, sort of, how did you get into Airsoft? Give us that backstory for people who might not have seen it before.
So, to be honest, going way back, Airsoft was kind of like when we were kids, when I was a kid, and we had Springer handguns and we ran around the woods, and that was kind of like as much as the experience got. I was always aware of it as a hobby stroke sport, and then going back, touching on the story, I don't know if it was in last week's podcast, but myself and Ollie worked together and we shared a mutual tism for all things military. And we kind of like planned to do it, and let's do it together. And then the place we worked at closed, and we went separate ways. And it was only three. So at that point, I was building kit ready to do it, and we had a few lads that wanted to do it, and I was collecting kit, getting it all ready, and then went our separate ways. Didn't speak to him on and off over a couple of years, and then he came to fix my boiler, and he was like, "Oh, you still got your guns?" I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, we should do it." And he's like, "Oh, mate, I've been doing it 2 years." I was like, "What?" So that's basically my intro. But it's become. I just wanted to touch on how Airsoft looks from the outside in a little bit, because anyone that's got a mild interest in it is going to get hit by they're going to search YouTube and then going to get hit by the YouTube algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
And a little caveat to start with is there's certain YouTubers out there that do an incredible job and write an incredible narrative for Airsoft, and they get a huge amount of hits. And when you first start searching Airsoft, you get inundated with these popular videos.
Yep.
And I don't think, knowing what I know now, they paint a good picture of Airsoft, and I think there needs to be a bit of balance from them, a bit of responsibility. When if they were here to promote and they're making money off the hobby, do what you do, play to the algorithm, but also put a bit of balance in the rest of your videos. And it's not, ultimately, from outside in, it looks like quite an aggressive, hostile sport or hobby, with lots of arguments and lots of man babies having a go at each other with toy guns. But my reality, it was far different. I found it far friendlier, approachable place to be. So
Good. Looking at YouTubers, in what would you say if you're going to say someone this is what Airsoft is like? Who would you show them? If you could show them just one and say this is a good representation of what I think you'd understand Airsoft to be like. Put you on the spot. Out of all the YouTubers,
I couldn't name one, to be honest with you. I think some people are different. I take everything with a pinch of salt, and I will, if there's a subject matter that I want to be into, then I will drill down and research everything and every element. So I take what I want, and there's some brilliant YouTubers, but like you look at Alphonse, but that's like top tier airsofting that like just isn't available, and I'm like, well, that's like god level airsoft going in on speedboats into a fortified island. That's like incredible, but not going to get that level. So manage my expectations a little bit.
That's not your average
No.
Saturday skirmish. Ross, you've seen a lot of content in your time, whether it be appropriate or not. What would you? Who would you suggest to go have a look at? Who do you think is a fair representation?
It's a hard one because I do agree with Tom. I think a lot of airsoft YouTubers they paint a story, they paint a narrative. They don't show kind of a true game day. Just because obviously people don't want to watch you getting shot and walking back to respawn. All you want to see is kills. I mean, obviously, we've got Recon Rye. He's a good lad. We know him personally. He does a good go at kind of showing stuff. Trying to think. Obviously, yeah, you've got people like Alphonse, but again, it's all big game stuff like that. There used to be a lad called Matt the Musketeer. Don't know if any of you know him. He used to do a lot of content at Anzio, I think it was, and his videos were good, to be fair. But again, I wouldn't say there's like anyone out there really that's like a true, not that I've heard of anyway. There probably is, but I don't think there's anyone that just kind of uploads footage of this is airsoft.
Yeah, and I think from my perspective, from straight out, that's what I need. You kind of need like a what happens at Chrono. You've never been to a game before. No one talks you through what's actually going on at Chrono. No one talks to you about any of the boring things. And I completely get, and I genuinely respect people churning these videos out to the algorithm. But the reality is, and I think what people need to take into account is these super cuts of cheaters are over a huge amount of time and video play. And what it does it look like is you'll go to a game day and no one's taking their hits and you're just arguing with everyone when it's genuinely not the case. And I don't know, I've kind of lost track what I was saying then, to be honest with you.
If you're going to suggest a YouTube, if I was going to suggest a YouTuber to anybody who was first starting out and they wanted something that's a bit more normal gameplay, as well as some of the mix-up stuff, as you know, some of the Milsims things that go off in the US, I'd probably say it'd be Jet the Desert Fox. A lot of his, if he's doing a review of a gun, usually it's just fresh game, how the day went, you know, if he gets hit, he puts it in the video. There's a lot of videos that you can watch now, and there is no clip of them getting hit. It's just they've just gone through, stormed a whole building, killed 40 odd guys, and that's the end of the video. It's like round of applause, great story, but
there's also a level of in the confrontations for the algorithm and to get more views. I often think that the cameraman is slightly antagonistic rather than de-escalating situations. I think people need to learn that you need to de-escalate a situation there before it gets out of hand.
Don't be a dick mentality.
I think that comes down to realistically, people love drama.
Mm-hmm.
People thrive on drama.
100%.
So if the title is like, oh, airsoft cheater gets caught and it's a screenshot in the like thumbnail of someone like up against the camera, people are like, yes.
I would 100% put that in my YouTube videos. If I'm getting 100,000, 200,000 hits on that, that'd be every video. I've got no objection to that. All I'm saying is just a bit of balance. Promote the sport for what it actually is, or hobby. Have we established whether we call it a sport or a hobby yet?
I say sport.
It's Bobby.
It's Bobby. It should be a sport, really, but the rules are mostly the same throughout, aren't they? We have a set guideline of what we should and shouldn't do, whether that's down to insurers or what. Yeah, I think it should be a sport, but that's a topic I think for another day, because we can go deep into that. I'm going to have to do some serious research. There's only one YouTuber I think I could ever recommend to say this is a good representation of airsoft, and that's Scout the Dougie, or Doggy, however it's called. The guy who does the airsoft sites up in Scotland, and all it is just gameplay video, not of him playing, of other people. And it's just watching firefights, and it's not the most thrilling thing in the world, but it's quite interesting to watch. Just watch people play, and it's just normal raw footage. There's there's loads of hit mark. There's no hit markers in it at all.
Sorry, from a newbie's perspective, tips videos, top tip videos, like Nico did one on just like pieing angles and stuff like that. Really valuable lessons, really valuable videos they were for me, and how you move through areas with a riff and stuff like that. So that stuff I was lapping up, but other stuff there's good players out there, really good players out there, and it's almost like they don't want to give anyone a leg up.
See, I think the thing about that is, I think there's a lot of stigma around kind of, oh, you're a basement operator, all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of times, I've seen it on TikTok, lads putting up like stuff like that, like, oh, we're approaching a room, we're going to go in it. Kind of, and then you get in the comments, oh, look at this gravy seal, and like, oh, you've never served a day in your life. Why are you showing people? I think it's like, it's great having them kind of videos of just like, yeah, for like yourself, like as an outsider that's never done it before. Like, realistically, you might never have held like a gun or kind of know kind of that side of it, or maybe even like never, like complete beginner, never played, never even done like paintball or anything. And then you're like, well, what the fuck do I do? You kind of just sit there and watch other people. Whereas I think sometimes, yeah, little tips and tricks videos. But
So
I think people are just bothered that they're going to get ridiculed for it.
Yeah.
They get upset when you ask someone to show their feet, Mr. Folkman. It's for the kids, I suppose. It gets the views in, doesn't it? And the kids are going to be the next generation of airsofters. So you have to draw them in somehow. If it gets clickbait and gets them in, brilliant. So when you've gone to your first game, you said it was Gloucester Prison.
Yeah.
Did you have any apprehension the night before, kind of going, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was just going to bottle it.
What was going through your mind? Talk us through.
Just pure stupidity. I was like, what are you doing? Like, grow up. What? But I think especially as well with mightism is I get confused between excitement and anger, and so they're very much the same thing for me. So I don't know if I'm angry or I'm excited. No, my missus doesn't like it at all. When we bought this house and I really liked it, she thought I was going to punch her.
For legal reasons.
She got really angry.
This is a joke. Just brought a house. I'm fuming.
The NEMTAC team does not endorse domestic abuse. We actively devour that. John will put a number on the screen here for your local domestic support helpline.
I just put your number. I was going to put Ross's number in it. Like, call Ross. If you've got an issue, just call him. But no, seriously, yeah, domestic violence is bad. It shouldn't be done. So you're angry or excited for this game. What else was going through your mind? Yeah, you said you want to bottle it. Why? What made you kind of want to go, no, this isn't for me?
It's really, I'd say, intimidating. I think it's lack of knowledge for me, lack of expectations. I didn't know what to expect or take from the day, and also the imposter syndrome is like a massive anxiety giver. And I think that's where, as a late starter, I'd say into airsoft, where I've done everything. I've got a house, got a career, got a child, got married, and then I've got expendable income and I'm going into it, and you're kind of alone. So I was lucky that Ollie had given me an in to a degree. But when you're a lot younger, you go with your mates and it's a big laugh and you can run around with your mates. But from my perspective, originally I was thinking about going alone, and I don't think I could have ever gone alone, to be honest with you. Knowing and feeding off the information that, Ollie's given me, yeah, it's absolutely daunting to go on your own. I think that's a barrier that people maybe in my position need to break down and understand that it's, once I got there, everyone was friendly, and I was like, oh shit, everyone's a tism like me. We're all the same. We've just congregated. and just, talking kit and friendly. It was just brilliant. I absolutely loved it. And so, yeah.
Okay. I mean, Elliot, can you think back at all to your first airsoft game, and if you had any apprehensions similar to what Tom had?
Sorry, apparently I pulled my mic out. So I was on the opposite side of what Tom had there. When I went, there was 4 of us. There was me and 3 other friends. Kind of got scammed into the site that we went to. Like I absolutely love the site now, but he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the closest and best one near to all of us." And turns out there was 3 or 4 sites in between. But yeah, there was. I was giddy about it. I didn't sleep well the night before. I was excited. I'd got like prior knowledge of what it was because my neighbours over the road, they were involved with it, and I'd kind of always watched videos on YouTube which were gun related, which always linked back to airsoft. So I was always excited on the first day. It wasn't until I got there, and you've kind of got everyone looking at you like, "Ooh, who are you?" That was like, "Ooh, is this the sport? Well, is this the hobby sport that we want to get into here?" Like, it feels like there's a lot of people here, a lot of kit that looks really nice and things like this. And it was like, "Oh, are we just going to get dicked and go home in pain?" Or, but it was the complete opposite. Like, it was most of the people there. I think I walked away making more friends on my first day than I thought I was ever going to, which was it was different to anything else that I've ever done. You go into a football game, and there's very slim chance that you're going to walk away friends with somebody who was on the opposite team. There's always going to be some form of like a little bit of bitterness towards each other. Whoever won, somebody did something. That airsoft game, I think I hit people in the face. No face protection. Just apologized about it, and you walked away laughing at the end of the day with them. You'd see them the week after, and you'd laugh about it again. It was the complete opposite of what I thought it was going to be. And I've loved it ever since. Hence why I still play now.
So, what about you, Ross? Can you remember your the night before your first game or something like that? Did you? Because you've got some experience with real firearms. So did that sort of help? Go, well, if I can handle this, I can handle that. Or
yeah, I think it did. And to be fair, I went with Harry, one of the other NEMTAC teams members. I'd kind of chatted to him about it, and he was like, "Look, just come with me." So I think I felt a bit more at ease because obviously I was going with a friend. And before that, I'd kind of marshalled for a paintball site. So I'd kind of almost broke that stigma of kind of what to expect, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously rocking up, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have no clue. I think I just followed Harry around pretty much the entire day. I was just like, lead me, show me what to do. Like,
don't leave me.
Yeah, like I rocked up. I've got the photo because it was my Facebook cover photo for ages. It's me and Harry just sat back to back, and I'm in a grey hoodie, like full on, like not even like dark grey, like basically nearly like this, like whitish grey. Just sat there, just back to back with Harry against the wall, just like holding the gun, like I don't know, like basically, yeah. But it's like I didn't know what to expect. I think luckily I was going with a friend, and then when I rocked up, everyone was super nice. Like I met Courtney, because Harry knew Court, so I kind of met them. I met a few of the other lads. But yeah, obviously I was kind of same as what Tom would say, almost that imposter. You're like kind of sat there like, I don't know what's going on. I've never done this. People are shouting at me, telling me to do some stuff, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. So it is daunting, I think. But
from a firearms perspective, I've handled firearms, and the fact that when it was in game and I was pointing my rifle at people was very, very strange, because it just doesn't happen when you handle firearms. Like, you don't do it as a joke.
It's one of the 5 golden rules, isn't it?
Absolute cardinal sin. And so the first 10 minutes, it was a really bizarre feeling, because your motions there, you know how to handle a firearm, but you've never raised it at someone and pulled the trigger. And so I was like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah.
and then obviously you just get into it, and you're like, yeah, absolutely getting it a lot. Yeah.
So that's something I don't think I've ever considered, is people who may have pointed a firearm at someone for another reason, and then you're playing with a toy doing the same thing, not the same thing, but you're almost in that same set of gone, this is okay to do this though. This is a child I'm pointing at, it's okay.
Even better. War crimes.
Edit that bit out. So, as a new player, you're bombarded with all this stuff on YouTube, on Facebook. I mean, the communities are a gift and a curse at times. There's an awful lot of kit to choose from. How did you go about making your first purchase, or your this is the gun I want? How did that go from a new player sort of perspective, rather?
So from my perspective, I kind of, and I think everyone should, if you're starting out, is you need to go for a look, because I know it was mentioned in the Optac Guys podcast about Airsoft's a fashion show, and it's bang on. So you kind of got to tailor your look, because you're going to build your kit around all of that. And I think that generally goes, if someone's going AK or M4 platform, they build it around what they've got. And so I'd basically Googled what's the best, and this was 4 or 5 years ago, what's the best airsoft rifle within my limit, my budget. And Crytek was coming out, going out of the box, it's stock, it's the best. And then you soon realize that, like we were talking before, how you go round in circles. So you can read enough reviews to suit your echo chamber, but then you can find enough reviews to talk you out of it. So you've just got to go with it. And I'd say, like we talk about the curse of some Facebook groups, the old I've just bought this riff, is it any good? And you go, wrong way around,
confirm my purchase. Yeah.
Absolutely wrong way around. You shouldn't be looking for validation from the start point of you could be asking a guy who's got a £1,000 TM gas blowback, and your level, your top budget was 150 quid, and it's never going to be good in that guy's comparison. So you get the best rifle for your budget, and it is the best rifle for you, and it's as simple as that. Yeah, it might break on your second day, but that's just what you got to put up with, because we haven't got expendable income, we haven't got limitless amounts of money. So you just got to go in with what you're happy with your budget, and just roll with it and own it.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to ask you a question here now. Sorry, Dom, to take
No.
From when you obviously looked at purchasing it, did you know about the upgrade inside of it? Because I know from my perspective, when I didn't know you could upgrade a gun. I thought it was just, you bought it, and that was it. So I bought one, I had it for like 6 months, was like, oh, this is shit, because I only spent like 150 quid, and then went and bought a more expensive one, and was like, why is it performing the same? And then that was when I got chatting to Court, and Court was like, did you know you can upgrade stuff? So was that the same for you, or?
Yeah, so, no. Obviously, in the same industry as you, as a mechanical engineer, naturally, I need everything to be taken apart, and I need to look at everything, and I want to know about gear ratios and angle of engagement. So I was really interested. I bought a really janky King Arms to start with, and just tried shimming it up, and that was YouTube videos. So I was shimming up, buying bits that didn't necessarily fit, nozzles that were the wrong length, and making all the mistakes I could possibly make, but learning as I go. But that's with the qualification in mechanical engineering. So I genuinely wouldn't recommend, if you're not handy with stuff like that, do not start fucking around with your riff, because you're gonna end up without one.
Or buy a beat up broken one that you know is broke, and try and fix it.
Yeah.
And if you can fix it, win. You've gained, or if not, you've gained some knowledge that you can't buy.
But I think with the inclusion now of electronics and MOSFETs, it's a bit past me. And when I'm solely currently reliant on my only running M4, I don't want to take it apart. So I bought a spare Crytek gearbox on eBay, and I've got all the gubbins, so I know if something breaks, I can replace it. But as for tuning, I'm not there yet. I don't know. That's something I'd leave to the professionals, I think. I don't know any good ones. Do you know any good ones?
I can't think of one. No. I think there's someone called. I think he's highly joking. Cut that. Yeah, we can't.
He'd tell
can't
you
say
to
that.
keep it. You know he'd tell you to keep it in, so keep it in.
No, we shouldn't out anyone. Actually, no, we should stop doing shoddy tech work. Naughty, stop it.
Should we talk about the photo that you put in the group chat the other day? Sorry,
What
the
of
video.
your
My tappet plate spring that Court had to make because he couldn't find anything strong enough. That's how come it's done a big spoil.
But kind of piggybacking off that question I've just said. Sorry, I'm cutting you out there, Elliot. Fuck you.
That's fine, mate.
How did you get on there, Elliot? Like, did you know about upgrades, or Dom? Did you know?
I was the exact same as you until I met Courtney. I was like, okay. Like the biggest upgrade I knew was that some of them came with MOSFETs, some of them didn't. If you had a MOSFET, you could go to a higher voltage on your battery and have more burr. That was it in my head. I was like, oh, once you got a MOSFET, that's it. Until I met Court and he was like, oh no, we'll put this in, we'll put this. I was like, mind was blown when he said all these things to me. I was like, and when he handed me my first upgraded rifle, it was night and day difference.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I knew upgrades existed, but what they looked like and how to do it, I couldn't do. I'd look at YouTube as a resource material to go, how do I do this, and could I physically do it? A lot of times, no, I can't do that. I know this bit I'm going to get stuck on, and I could try, but I'm going to break it. I'm going to break far more than I'm ever going to fix. But I had no clue what was best for this gun, and I think it's all subjective. What works in one might not work in another. We don't have an industry standard, really. We have version types, but some might have a slightly shorter nozzle or slightly longer nozzle, depending on the manufacturer. And even from batch to batch, there can be a slight difference in quality or casting or whatever. So there's no industry standard of this is always going to fit this, which is a bit of a shame, because if all manufacturers sort of got on board with that, we'd have a lot more parts to choose from. It'd be a lot easier to go, actually, I can choose this one or this one, and I know it's going to fit.
Make it modular.
Yeah, as a production manager now in my career, standardization is the key, and it's really frustrating. Like, especially Crytek, realizing that they were proprietary parts. I was like, proprietary gearbox. I was like,
it's one of the worst things in airsoft is anything proprietary. Unless it's good, it's kind of like, no, that puts me straight off. Anything going, that'll only work in that, great, I'm not going to bother, because it's made out of cheese and it's going to break every time. Looking at you, A&K Masada Nozzle. So, and what tips would you give to a newer player, Tom, of someone who's not even played a game? What would you say to them to do? How would you go, this is going to get you in, this is going to help you?
Do your research straight off the bat. Do your research in everything. And putting in a big group asking if something's any good is just lazy. You've got Google, you've got the internet at your fingertips.
Stops you getting bullied as well.
Absolutely everything that I looked into or I wanted or I thought looked good, even the chest rig, you bang that model and that make into YouTube and you'll have 4 or 5 reviews of someone and watch them, see if it's any good for you. The same with riffs. Just YouTube it. Someone will be on there moaning about it. Someone will be on there saying it's the best thing they've ever seen. And then choose. But ultimately, understand your ceiling, understand where your level is and where you want to go in at. And research. I can't, because ultimately you can spend lots of money, but you can buy lots of shit things and ultimately spend more money replacing the things that are broken. And spend a good amount of money on iPro. Matt, that's my biggest tip. Don't go AliExpress for your iPro. Don't go eBay for your iPro.
No.
Buy a decent set and invest in it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Elliot?
Just go straight to Pit Viper. That's my advice.
Can I be in your gang?
No, my advice is get over it and go and do it. Yes, what Tom has said is completely valid. Like, go and do research when you're looking at buying your own stuff. Making that simpler, I'd say really it comes down to what riff you want to use. And then it's just research a brand, find out which brands are good, and go and find what they make that's also good. Go in that way. But just go and do it.
Do it! Just Do it! Yes, you can! Just do it!
Like, if anybody was worried about going, or, you know, is kind of just apprehensive about doing anything airsoft related, well, just related in life, just go and do it. Especially with airsoft. The people
do
aren't
it.
as scary as we look sometimes. You know, if you look at Dom on a bad day, he can be a very scary dude, but usually he is
Just
a
grumpy. I'm just grumpy.
helpful man who's incredible.
Thank you, Elliot.
That's cute.
oh.
Oh, that's
Very crisp.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm hard.
We have to put that beeps on
You're
that.
not. You're not.
Ross, what about
You're
you?
not.
What
I
about tips?
see. For kind of, I would say both Elliot and Tom have made good points. But I think for me, if you've never done airsoft and you want to get into it, or kind of what you do, just go to a game, play, just rent. Don't bother buying any kit. Don't bother like doing research, because you might play one game and go, "Oh, this is a load of shit," and then you might go a couple more times and go, "Oh, this is really good," or vice versa kind of thing. I would say go and rent at a site, try a few sites out, just do their rental packages, because realistically, you get everything you need. You get your gun, you get your iPro, you get ammo, you get like your equipment you need. Don't get me wrong, 99% of sites, the rental guns, I think we've done blowpipes that can shoot better than them, but it gives you that taster, it gives you that experience of, right, do I actually want to go into this airsoft like sport, hobby, whatever you want to call it? And that's when then I'd lead on to like what Tom would do. Right, get on the computer, do your research. This is what I want to do. This is what I want. What's going to be the best for me? But I think just as a straight out, obviously, I think Tom was quite lucky in the fact that obviously he's had people like Ollie and a few mates around him that have gone, just come with us kind of thing. And you've you've gone balls to the wall with it. I mean, look behind you. You've got like kind of thing. But
I think that's more reflective of the type of person I am, and not. I would absolutely go rental, but I can't do.
No, that's it. I mean, obviously everyone's to their own, but I think for me, that's like when I was getting started, I was kind of similar to Tom. I had Harry, and Harry was just like, "Here, have gun, have kit, let's go," kind of thing. Luckily, I didn't have to go down the rental side of it, but it still was like, for probably the first 6 months of my playing, I didn't have anything in my own. It was only after kind of, I was like, right, I'm all in on this, let's get it done. And then I went and bought myself a Spectre arms. And that was I only bought that because Westy in the group, he had one. He had the 416 Spectre, and I was like, yeah, I really like this. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get one myself. So, yeah.
No.
Westy had something that's not the M60. I can't believe it.
I know.
It's modern.
Don't get me wrong, we're talking, back when I was, 17? So 9 years ago, I think now.
Oh, man.
Off the back of what Ross said, I think it's important you try as many sites as you can around you. Do not attend the same site 3 times ago. I want to get my Yukara here. Do that to get your Yukara, but don't just jump straight into it. Go try some other sites, because you might have a terrible day at one, a fantastic day at the other, and then play something that's a bit in between. But you're not playing the same site, you're playing something new. So every time it's a whole fresh experience. And then you can get a feel to, you go, do I really enjoy Woodland? If I don't, maybe I can go play CQB. If I don't want to play CQB, maybe I can go play Speedsoft. Maybe that's more my angle. You know, you've got this variation. So just go try it. You know, and I think the thing we've all got in common is go with a friend. Get someone who just wants to come along, because then you've got that safe buddy to go with. You know, whether it be a big group of mates or just you're not there lone wolf. Because I think if you were to go by yourself in a big group of people, you've got to find it in you to go talk to someone. Because you don't want to be that weirdo who sits in the corner, and if they're perfectly happy, brilliant. But you want to go there to do social things. It's a game that needs players. It's a social game, period. You're going to have to talk to someone at some point. So I think that's
I'd say looping it back to the YouTubers thing. I think that's where a lot of their Discords and their communities come into it, because a lot of the times you could more than likely go onto their Discord and say, hey, look, first time going to Airsoft, this is the site I'm going to. And more than likely, if they're regular players if they're regular Airsoft players, they're going to be in XYZ person's Discord. If you can put it in just one, somebody is more than likely going to that site who will happily, befriend you for that day. Whether you then, take off and be actual friends, you think, oh yeah, it's not for me, you don't talk again, or you might fall out with them. It's very low chance, but it's always been, don't do it on your own. I'd say don't do it on your own. If you think you're gonna have to go on your own, see if you can find somebody else first. If not, then make the cut and say, right, I've got to go on my own if I really want to do this. And I think at that point, that's when you can kind of, if you're at that point where you want to try it, you want to go, you're definitely going to go on your own. I think then you could buy your own kit and you're dedicated to it at that point. You want to do it because otherwise you wouldn't be itching still to go without anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two levels there, isn't there? There's certainly reach out to people. Facebook's a great tool, especially if you've got a local site that has a Facebook page. You can see the people on there. You can see the people that are replying to events, whether they're going to attend or not, and put a message in and saying that you've never played before, you want to come along, but you're on your own. Is anyone, willing to help out? I'm sure people are looking from how friendly the Spobby has been to me. But the other side of it is I completely lost track of what I was going to say.
Oh, you're doing so well. So well.
I'm really tight. Oh, yeah. Well, okay, I'm done. I'll see you later.
Thanks. I'd like to know what are you looking forward to out of Airsoft, Tom? What are you most looking forward to? I mean, social side aside, just Airsoft as a whole. What are you looking forward to the most?
See more of my Winky.
That's sold. But no, as a new player, what are you looking forward to most? What gets you really excited? What's because I think the older people.
I think it's everything. For me, the admin side of it, I really enjoy. The prep is brilliant. The excitement, the build up to the event, and I've only had two, so I just want the next one to come along now. And so that for me is like I need have a week build up, think about what I need, think about what I'm going to get. Night before, packing everything, making sure you got everything, making sure my gun's shooting right within limits, and then when you're there, it's a bit weird. You can't. For me, I float through the day, and I only reflect on it afterwards of enjoyment. But you're just there doing it, and but it's like meeting absolute great bunch of lads. These guys I met, obviously I met you through doing the podcast and got invited into the Tropic chat, and I'm not sure whether I'm a fully fledged member yet, and I don't know if I want to be because I don't particularly like pit vipers.
Move this man!
So I'm only joking. I do. I just can't wear them.
Yeah, see you later, man.
Get him gone. Scrap the episode.
So Ross has just left in disgust. That's it. Thanks for joining, Ross.
Cheers, Ross.
No, they're banging. I definitely.
What are you excited?
Couldn't turn up in them.
What about you, Elliot? What gets you excited still for a game? For a build-up, or whatever. What do you most look forward to out there? So,
I mean, I think I've got to do the shameless.
Hey, you don't
plug.
like him again.
Oh,
I'll raise you that.
I think I've got to do our shameless plug here and say that the next thing that I'm actually excited for is the Nemtac/Optac.
yeah, go on.
Great.
Would
shout.
you like to try again? Go and give another go.
I got there in the end. It was too many taps. I couldn't do it. But yeah, we've got the event coming up on the 4th of July.
Would you
4th
like
and 6th
me
of July.
to do an ad read for you?
I think you should.
Ross, if you came prepared.
I
You
have.
missed on it live.
So, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. So, the first ever Nemtac Airsoft event. This is going to be held on the 4th to the 6th of July 2025. This is being done in collaboration with Optac The Kingdom. It's going to be ran as a battle sim. So if you don't know what battle sim is, instead of little skirmish games, It's just going to be 2 days of just constant play. It'll most likely be like game on at 10, game off at 5, but it'll be constant kind of thing. So it's also going to be a networking event. So for you'll find people like Waldo Dynamics there, ASG, I believe we've got coming. More to be announced soon. I haven't got the full list, but it's going to be, you can go, little businesses interact with each other. You go down, meet companies that you never know. You might have bought we'll link to the Scorpion Evo made by SG. You can go down and talk to the guys about it, see what's new coming up for it, or everything like that. There's going to be competitions as well being run the entire weekend. That's going to be hosted by Tropic Thunder. We're going to do that in the style of like a 3-gun competition, and there will be quite big prizes to be won from that. Not going to spoil them yet, but it's going to be an event worth entering just for the shooting competition. There's going to be beer tent vendors, so secondhand sales areas. Basically, think of, if you've not heard of it, National Airsoft event, but on a smaller scale and focused for the player. It's going to be £85 if you pre-book for the weekend. And if you want to have a stall there, then it is going to be £40 for a 3x3 pitch. If you don't know where Optac is, it's just outside Staffordshire. Outside Stafford. And it's a great site. It's a 200-acre game area, mainly woodland, but there's a lot of built-up buildings. That is their bread and butter, making buildings, full wooden structures, but not like kind of stick huts. These are like
Properly built
full-on
with ladders.
Constructed, like
2 floors.
Yeah. 2 floors, everything like that. So yeah, that's coming up 4th to the 6th of July. Get booked on. Booking is now live at optac.co.uk. I hope that's the website. If not,
we'll pop the link in the description below.
Yeah.
Both to Optac. You know, they run great events, just period. Whether it be one of ours or not, but we're very, very excited for it, aren't we, Ross? So,
we are indeed.
There's lots to do, lots to see. But
I was looking at tents last night.
Yes, there is camping available. Sorry, should have said that. And if you're feeling bougie, Optac have just bought a load of log cabins, which are going to be available to rent out for the weekend. But obviously that's on their end, so you have to sort that direct with them.
But what do you need for any airsoft game all day? You need some advice. You do need a gun, correct? But what do you need in the gun?
Ammo.
You do, and that's where we're pleased to introduce the Courtney
look.
M5 discount. So we've got it back. Warhead are very happy with us. We've done well. So use the code Courtney M5 at Warhead Industries for a 5% discount across the whole range. You can get their bougie motors, patches, if that's your thing, BBs, all types of flavors and sizes, weights as well. So pop that in there, do a bulk order with your mates, get a ton of ammo in, and you're going to save yourself a fair whack. And Warhead ammo is good. We've done the taste test. Doesn't give you cheese. A BB is a BB, but it's a good quality BB. So get yourself on that Courtney M5 discount, and if you haven't, too late. And I think they're going to send out some freebies with every order. Maybe, who knows? We shall see. Get your Skittles in, but we'll get in trouble for saying that.
Yeah,
yes,
I heard that if you buy Warhead BBs, they'll send you feet pics for free.
Feet pics for free. So send Ross feet pics, please.
Send pics.
Send pics. So we've done our shameless plug. So we've got some to look forward to. Elliot, you asked what I'm looking forward to. And I struggle. I struggle to look forward to things sometimes, whether it's my...
What about Swingers Club?
Ross.
Yeah,
I'm gonna edit you so hard out of this.
Just a black box over
just
me.
black, just no talking from this man.
welcome to the no
No
camera
camera
zone.
No, in all seriousness, I struggle. I think I dig myself into too far of a hole if I'm not going to enjoy the day, or have I brought the right kit? But by the time I get there, I absolutely love the day, no matter what I take. So I'm just looking forward to time with friends.
Ooh,
Yeah. Oh, friends. New friends and old, and ones that I tolerate. Just kidding, Ross. Love you, really.
About Courtney.
That's a bit mean. Yeah, spoil people aside. So we looked at that. Were there any barriers, but bar the mental barrier, when you've gone to site and you're looking at people in kit and you're going, oh, I can't compete with this, did you find that was something that did happen? Or you kind of like, no, this is just toys at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It ain't going to make a difference. That sort of snobbery that almost comes in sometimes.
Yeah, I think going on site and seeing everyone's kit is massively overwhelming. But on the other side of the fence, I sat there and I thought we're all limited. Like no one's gun's going to shoot harder, apart from obviously if they're sat within like a bolt action range. But what I learned pretty quickly on the Optac Battle Sim was the one thing that gave me the edge over all of that kit is improving your fitness, and getting your fitness up to scratch is going to give you the edge on a lot of players. So yeah, and that's free. You can do that for free. So yeah,
go for a walk. Start with a walk. If you can't run, walk. Then run. Start slow.
If you're not fit, you're gonna die.
Fitness. If you're not fit, you're gonna die. Get out there, run, work out. Don't die, guys.
And a man who broke all our hearts said that. He did.
Yes.
He did. So anyway, wrapping, is there anything that you would like to sort of round off this podcast or at all? Anything else you think we might have missed or overlooked?
Cool hat, bro.
Cool hat, bro. Well, I'm the only one wearing a hat, and I hadn't forgotten because Elliot hasn't got a hat because we can't see. Ross hasn't got a hat because he's barely dressed. And Tom, you've had an opportunity to get a hat, but you still don't have a hat. He's got a truck.
Where's the opportunity?
I have tractor
Tom, the
instead.
opportunity has only came back today, friend.
Oh yeah, well okay. Fine. You could have got any other hat.
They obviously
I've literally been checking every hour. I'm that desperate for one.
We'll make sure you get a hat. We'll make sure Courtney reserves one for you. Not a problem at all. We'll make
Multicam
sure
Tropic.
Multicam Tropic. I'll write that down in my book, which is in front of me now. Left-handed, so I can't read it perfectly. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, gents, for coming on. Ross, Elliot, anything else you want to round up before we go?
No, nothing from me.
No. Nice hand-painted Warhammer figurine, you slut.
What you got?
I found them in the loft. It's a Dark Angels Deathwing Terminator squad. I have box. I have Tupperware.
Classy. Well, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. If you haven't already, go check out Optac and the events that we've got coming up. Have a look over on the Nemesis Tactical main channel where we've got more in-depth and more structured reviews. And if you haven't already, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's anything you think we need to check on or you want to come onto the show, hit us up. We'll get you on. We'll talk about everything and anything within reason, to a degree, airsoft related, of course. But yeah, until then, we'll see you on the next time. Cheers, chaps. Cool.
Elliot, were you eating in the back of that? Someone was messing with cutlery.
I think it might have been me with this.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah, I have to fit. Normally it's my shark thing, but my shark thing was out of reach.
Also, stop the
It's this.
recording.
No.